If you're a Tarkov veteran, or even new to Tarkov, you're probably aware that quite a lot has changed since the 12.12 patch. Since the release of 12.12, one of the biggest changes is where high-end loot is concentrated, and even if you have thousands of hours in the game, you might be wondering which spots are worth rushing, or which keys are worth getting. The marked rooms of Tarkov are notorious for containing extremely high-end items, like graphics cards, or valuable cases like injector cases or documents cases. But not all marked rooms are created equal, so today we're going to compare each one, ranking each by the loot they contain, the price and availability of the key, and the danger level of visiting the room. Okay, let's get started. Starting with the reserved marked rooms, we have 3 locations to visit: RB-BK, RB-VO, and RB-PKPM. RB-BK is located in the Black Pawn building basement floor, and is by far the worst marked room in the game. This marked room was once a hot spot of activity, as it used to yield all kinds of valuable containers, but probably due to its ease of accessibility, it's been severely nerfed. It's so bad, in fact, that even finding something as simple as a gold chain or a skull ring is actually quite rare. But if you do loot this room, make sure you're looking in all the right spots, as valuable loot can clip into the room objects and be extremely hard to spot. So you'll have to rely on your perception dot, or the small white dot that indicates that loot is nearby, to know if loot is actually nearby. First, check on the couch cushion, as this is a gold spawn and the loot is almost always clipped inside the cushion. Next, check the back of the room by the wall. Then check the far edge of the marked circle, and then the table next to it. Oftentimes, small valuables can clip inside the open book on the table. Then check the table immediately to your right when you enter, as well as under the table. Sometimes items that I think are meant to spawn on top of the table fall through and end up on the floor. There are also 2 ammunition spawns, here and here. The cost of the RB-BK key is low, coming in at 60 to 80,000 rubles. The loot in RB-BK is poor. And while this spot used to be a huge PMC battleground, safety is good, as this room now goes unlooted quite often, and very few, if any, PMCs rush this spot. Next up is RB-VO. RB-VO is located in the barracks next to the train station on reserve near the edge of the map. This room is a slight step up from RB-BK, and finding more gold spawns as well as the occasional high-end item like a GPU is slightly more common. In this room, check on all of the tables, and look around on the floor of the room thoroughly. You also want to check on the seat of the wheelchair, as this is a gold spawn. Loot doesn't really clip through the objects in this room, so if you don't see a perception dot or don't visually see loot, it's probably not there. Cost of the RB-VO key is low, coming in at 60 to 80,000 rubles. Loot in RB-VO is medium, and safety is medium. You need to be aware of PMCs rushing your location from the hermetic bunker area, as well as from the backside or inside of the train yard building. Snipers can also camp the hermetic hill area and attempt to snipe you through the windows, or when leaving the building, so watch out. Last for reserve is RB-PKPM. This marked room is located in the control room of the reserve underground area, very close to the power switch to activate the D2 extract. This marked room used to be one of the worst in the game, offering little to nothing with each unlock, but since marked rooms have been rebalanced, it can be quite good. Other than the obvious spawns in the marked circle area, which can also contain items like GPUs, there are many gold spawns in here. Check along the toppled bookcase to the left, as there are multiple gold spawns here. Also check all of the bookcases, on top of shelves, and on top of filing cabinets, and the floor behind all the televisions. Basically, look everywhere. You can expect to find multiple types of treasure items every time you loot this room, and possibly even a high-end item like a GPU. The cost of RB-PKPM is high. It has an extremely low drop rate in key spawns, and only recently became available to sell in the flea, hovering at around 1 million. So getting one may be difficult. This is one of 2 keys I have found on the Cultist Priest. An upcoming video will show how to farm them. Loot in RB-PKPM is high. Safety is poor. To get to RB-PKPM, you'll likely have to fight raiders, and maybe even waves of PMCs, as it's not uncommon for multiple groups of PMCs to head here from multiple directions. Unless you have a quick escape planned, it's best to fight off everyone first, then unlock the room afterwards, so you don't waste the uses on your key. Next up, we're heading to customs for the most famous marked room in the game, Dorm Room 314, or simply known as the marked room. Currently, this room is the best marked room in the game in terms of loot. It almost always contains very high-end guns, such as 7.62 MDRs, RSASs, and DVLs, but it can also spawn docs cases, injector cases, key tools, and keycard cases with surprising regularity. I've used up 2 entire marked room keys so far this wipe, and each 25 use key has netted me a minimum of 8 to 10 of these very high-end cases. This room is also one of the only spawns for the Willer Z wallet, which is needed for Kappa, which I have not been able to find in 50 unlocks of this room. BSG, please, make the wallet spawn a little more often. Anyways, loot is super easy to find here. It's all in the center of the room, but there is a cache spawn directly to the left of the door as well. Price of the dorm's marked key is extremely high. It can now be found on the flea, but prices vary from 2 to 5 million. You can also barter for the key with Jaeger for all the reserved marked keys combined. It should also be noted that this can be found on the cultist priest, just like RB-PKPM. Loot is extremely high. You can expect an extremely high-end item within 5 visits or less. Safety is extremely poor. If you don't get a close spawn, you'll have to navigate through multiple PMC pathways to get to the dorms. Then, you can usually expect multiple PMC groups to be moving in and out of dorms from all sides and at all times. Not to mention that Rashala and the boys might be there as well. PMCs will use every tactic in the book to keep you from looting this room, so expect campers with impact grenades, naked flechette shotgunners, Alton wearing Giga Chad streamers, and if that doesn't work, brute force 5-man squads that will attempt to overwhelm you with sheer numbers. And unless the car extract is available, you'll have to hump all your ill-gotten gains out of the dorms area and safely make it to an extract, if you hope to keep its found in raid status. Farming the marked room can be fun for a while, but can quickly turn aggravating, so I recommend taking a break from it after 5 to 10 unlocks. And lastly, marked circles. These can be found on woods near the swamp village, as well as right between the lumber mill and checkpoint, and as well on the 3rd floor of the east wing of the health resort on Shoreline. These circles used to often contain mid to high tier weapons, but now are typically either empty or may have 1 or 2 gold spawns, like a gold chain. If you're in the area, you can check them out. But I did want to note one thing about the circle on Shoreline. At this marked circle, most people might look at the floor or loot the dead scav in the bathtub, but it's very important to look behind the tub on the floor. There are multiple gold spawns here, and I've actually found some very interesting items here, so if you're passing by, make sure to take a peek behind the tub. My personal favorite marked room is RB-PKPM, as I love the challenge of raiders, and I find that fighting in the reserve underground is one of the fairest PvP experiences in Tarkov. There's very little audio issues that come with multiple story buildings, like dorms, and the possibility of raider loot, PMC gear, and marked room loot all together is really nice. Plus, if it gets too hot down there, you have multiple escape routes, and that's how all marked rooms stack up. Let me know in the comments which marked room you've had the most success with, and don't forget to swing by our Discord to join the community. If you'd like to see new videos early and support our content in the future, consider joining our Patreon. I need to go lose 15 more kits and dorms to try to find that Willer Z wallet. So until next time, I'm Jeff with EUL Gaming. Good luck out there.